There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching. Thank you so much for standing by. I'm having the worst technical difficulty, and it's on two fronts. Number one, the internet is trash today because if you don't know, I am in Florida and we are experiencing right now, it's a tropical storm advisory. It's probably going to get upgraded to a hurricane advisory by tomorrow. It's going to supposedly reach landfall Thursday morning, but we never know about these things because, interesting enough, many years ago, Katrina was actually supposed to hit Florida, and it just took a left turn and hit New Orleans. So we never know with these things. Sometimes they can take a turn for a different direction, but we're still preparing just in case. So let me see what's going on in the chat. And thanks again for hanging out. I really appreciate you because you don't even know. Oh, and I forgot to mention the second issue was my computer wants to do an update, and I'm like, not right now. I'll do it in a moment after the show. Tony says you're gonna need a heap of glue when they all catch up with you. They cut you up into two. Now your ears are ringing. The birds have stopped their singing. Everything is turning gray. No candy in your till, no cutie left to thrill. You're alone on a Tuesday. Hang up the chick habit. Hang it up, daddy, or you'll be alone in a quick. Oh, see, I didn't get what song it was until the hook came through. The hang up the chick habit. Yeah, that's an old song. Emma is here. She says, so glad for this. I've been watching Dahmer on Netflix all day. It's horrifying. Me too. I actually was watching it at night, and I finished episode 8, but the most heartbreaking episode is the one with the young deaf gentleman that was so happy to get it. He was, searching for a job that would hire him despite him being hearing impaired, and he wanted to move to the big city and become a model, and you just learn his whole backstory and about his family. And then when he goes to the club, and you, and also I love how they told the story from his perspective for the majority of the episode, and even how his world is like from his perspective. Like the sound would completely cut out at parts. There's a scene where he and his friends are at like a diner, and it's just a beautifully done scene, acted, written. It just felt real. It felt like I was sitting at a table next to them, just overhearing their conversation, or I guess overseeing their conversation, because they're signing, so I wouldn't hear their conversation, but you get the gist. But it's pretty amazing, and I had mixed feelings about watching it, because I kind of felt like in America, um the serial killers get too much attention. Like, this is the ninth program about Dahmer, and then the other one, Gacy, has had a lot of programs, and the one from Florida, I always forget his name, the one that was picking the women up in a car, and the police had arrested him and actually let him out. But this one, like the way it's done, because it puts more of the emphasis on the victims. The thing that I do hope is that the victim's family is getting paid off of this. I hope y'all are cutting them a check, because from what I'm hearing, they were not notified or advised of the show at all, and I think that's kind of messed up. I think they should have been notified, because can you imagine your relative, your brother, your son was murdered, and then you happen to turn on Netflix, and you see, that pop up. I would be, it's re-traumatizing when you think about it. Let's see here. Tony Mann says hello to Emma. How's life across the pond? And Emma says, not bad, thanks. Gray and getting cold and dark. The pound has collapsed and the country has gone crazy. But apart from that, how are you? It sounds about the same in the US. I was saying on another stream last week about a gallon of orange juice costing about $7 to $8 now. Chris is here, and she says, hey, Tony Mann and Emma. Emma says, hey to Chris. Did I put her, let me put this on the screen. Sorry if I missed it. Everything's moving kind of slow, so I'm trying to put everyone's comments up on the screen. Even though I read it, I didn't put it up on the screen. So let me get to this. Okay, it's starting to speed up now. That's good. Sometimes it does this with StreamYard. Tony says, yo, Chris, we're about to catch hell for the next few days. Yeah, because Tony Man is also in Florida. And Chris says, I saw. Hopefully you'll stay safe as possible down there. And that's me. And then Tony Man says, I'm changing Lady Shasha's name to Lady Shasha. Hey, whatever works. I'm here, though. I didn't cancel completely. Chris says, hey, Shasha, better late than never. Foaming Key Latte is here as well. And she says, hey, y'all. Everybody's saying, hey. Oh, Tony Man is saying, hey to foe. Chris is saying, hey to foe. And Tony Man says, fire the show producer. I am the show producer. But I will show you what happened yesterday. I got this notification. I will show it to you. I hate when computers want to update, because then they deliberately start running slow. This is a notification I got yesterday when I tried to start the live. It says it's not switching. There we go. You've reached your monthly streaming limit on the free plan. You are in an elite group. Only 5% of users stream as often as you. Since August 27th, you streamed for 21 hours and 7 minutes. The free plan is limited to 20 hours per month. Then it says, when a StreamYard free plan customer exceeds the monthly streaming limit, there are two options: purchase a paid plan or wait until your usage resets on September 27th. So, of course, today being the 27th, I waited until the usage reset, because I can't see paying $20 for StreamYard just yet, when this channel isn't exactly profitable. It's more, right now it's for fun. If I ever reach that 1,000 people and 4,000 watch hours, then I will upgrade. But until then, I'm just going to have to keep going with the free program. Seems like everything's going to move in slow motion today. Toneman says it changed. It's now a hurricane warning until Thursday. It turned more and headed right for us. Oh no. And then also, I heard that Dahmer Doc Show doesn't show blood and shies away from the violence. Yes, it does. I'm thankful for that, because even though what he did is spoken about in the when the police are talking about it, and also in the courtroom scenes, and the neighbors, they have some scenes where the neighbors ask, how many bodies were found, that type of thing. So you do hear about what he did, and there's one scene where he cooks and eats a liver, but you don't see him cut the liver out of the person or anything. So it's done, like I said, it focuses more on the victims rather than him, and it's not salacious in that you don't see a lot of what he does. All you see mostly his stalking and his drugging the men, but you don't see any gore of what he actually did with the bodies. Fomiki Lati says, it's weird because I thought that storm already came through when a flash tropical storm hit here. I figured that was the remnants of it. It could be the outer bands. Oh, Tony Man says I froze for a second. Yeah, this show is going to be very bare bones. I'm not going to play a video today because I don't think it'll work properly. As you can see, there's a delay in just me trying to put up the chat comments. So we're going to go ahead and let's get into it. What was the first couple let's talk about? Let's talk about Emma and Hossein. I'm going to put this image up for them because this says it all. And I'm also made myself coffee today. It is decaf, and I found a pumpkin spice creamer at Aldi. And Aldi's like I think it's German or Swedish owned, but it's a grocery store. It's like a discount grocery store. And then I put a little bit of cinnamon in it. So it smells very fall right now. Fomiculite says, question for Florida residents. Did y'all see the parts of that SpaceX rocket fall? I did not, because I was not outside, but a lot of times when the whenever they do a rocket launch from where I am, if you go out at the time of the launch, you can see it going up in the air. But since I was not outside, I did not see the rocket at all. When I used to work at this elementary school, as a teaching assistant, we used to take the kids outside to see the rocket launch. The little kids loved it. But let me first talk about Emma and her accent changing, which really irritated me. She has like a normal British accent when she's speaking, but when she speaks to Hossein, her voice drops 2 octaves, and then she speaks in this broken English, almost like she's mimicking the way he speaks English. And it's annoying on 2 things. Number one, that does not help him when he's trying to better his English skills. That actually impairs him. So it is actually would be best for you to speak to him in a normal way so that he can learn better the different idiosyncrasies the English language has. Because English is a very, very, very difficult language to learn, because every rule we have is broken. And we have so many words that sound the same but are spelt different and mean different things. Like there, and there, and theirs, and they are, and there. Like just that alone would break me if I was trying to learn English. Then we have all these words that have extra letters in them, like neighbor. It's very, very difficult language to learn. So I think, be easy on that. But the whole, yes, we go get married now. She was just irritating my soul with that. And as you can see in this picture, they have zero chemistry. He does not like her. He does not care about her. If I Only Want a Green Card was a person, I don't know if it's still called a green card in the UK. It might be called something else, citizenship papers. It is Hossein. And then a lot of people, well, we'll get to the tweets. Well, I won't say what they're saying on Twitter. What I'm going to do is read the comments, because it takes too long for me to click on them and get them on the screen. And to keep the show moving, I'm just going to read them aloud. Toneman says, if you say pumpkin spice 5 times in a mirror, you will be visited by a northern in a fall sweater rather than just a hook. It says that accent is diabolical. My mom-in-law and her family are Iranian, and I've never spoken to any of them in a weird accent, I hope. The thing that happens sometimes with people, I know it happens with me, is if I'm around a group of people for a long time and they have a certain accent, I might acquire their accent from being around them, but it'll be very, very slight, and I'll catch myself and make myself stop. With her, I feel like she's putting it on. And secondly, it could come across as mocking the person. That the person might see that as you're mocking their accent. So I that could be a little bit why he pulls away from her, aside from the fact that he's completely uninterested in her and not attracted to her. So Mickey Light says, well, the news here tried to gaslight us into thinking what was falling from the sky was a piece of the rocket. Chris says he's here for the gram for sure. Oh yes, the way this man looks at himself in the mirror in every reflective surface, that's probably what he's looking at right now in his picture. He's probably staring deeply into his own eyes and his reflection in the car window. It could, it could be a piece of the rocket. Just because I didn't see it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It could totally have happened, especially since yesterday we had such an issue with our internet. And where Tony Man works, he says that all the computers were acting up at his job as well. And today, like I said, my internet has been a little bit slow, and also it could be due to just the computer wanting to update itself as well. But it's an issue. Okay. What else happened when they were going to get to the second registry to get their paperwork? Hussein was more concerned about the humidity curling his hair, and I was just like, even in my 20s, I would not have entertained a man like this. Mm-mm. He loves himself entirely too much to love anyone else. It's Well, let me take it back. It's not love, because in my older years, I have learned that a lot of times when people act like this, it's the opposite of love. It's extreme insecurity. He's extremely insecure about himself. That's why he must constantly check, is every hair in place? Have I straightened my beard appropriately? Which we'll get into when I get into the tweets. If I can get into the tweets, that might represent an issue with the internet again. Let's cross our fingers that the tweet section will work well today. But yeah, that was just, and then when they get all dressed up and they're going to the wedding, and he does that pat on the back thing where he hugs her and just does a double pat on the back thing again. And even when she kissed him on the mouth, it was just, there was nothing there. How can she not feel that there's nothing there? I feel for her because I know that she is just wanting someone to love, and she's probably very, very lonely, but it's not worth this. It's not worth being treated this way, being treated like a burden almost. I hope that she gets out of this. By the way, the title of the episode comes from a quote that she said, which was, "I made a massive mistake." Emma says, do Emma and Hossein get an award for most awkward wedding, or do Danielle and Muhammad still have that? I think Danielle and Muhammad, because he didn't even kiss her on the wedding day. Hossein did suck it up and kiss Emma. Chris says, Tony Man, I don't say it, and I see them anyway, like it's Sixth Sense all the time here now. Emma says, oh, I know you're talking about the women with the pumpkin spice. I can't help it if I'm from Connecticut, and that's what we do. And I did used to have Ugg boots. I had a pink pair and I had the classic tan pair, but I don't have them anymore. So I've gotten better. I do still have another pair of brown boots, but they aren't Uggs. They're better. They're more comfortable. Tony Man says, Emma, question for you. Is calling a woman a bird like calling someone a bee here in the States? And Foaming Collector says, if you can call this a relationship. Exactly. Yeah, I have heard some British people use the term bird, but I heard it mostly in an Austin Powers movie. And it seemed more like the same as calling a woman a chick here. I don't know what's necessarily meant to be that disrespectful. I think it's still meant to be misogynistic in a way, but I don't think it's on the same level as the B word. I think it's more on the level of chick. Okay, do I have anything else to say? Oh yes, him answering the phone in the middle of their wedding ceremony, talking about he's waiting for a call from his mother. Number one, you could have called your mother before the wedding ceremony and put her on speakerphone or put her on video call or something like that if you wanted her to be there. So that tells me that you're full of BS and you're lying. Um, Even if you are, I mean, I don't think you're on submit levels of being a mama's boy. Or actually, Colt grew out of being a mama's boy. He actually like said, I have to do something different. So shout out to Colt for recognizing that. Jihoon is another one. He was another one that was, all about his mama. I don't believe that with you, Hossein. I don't believe you're that much of a mama's boy. I think that was your other girlfriend that was calling. Allegedly, supposedly, possibly. That's my thought. But I don't think that was your mother at all. I think you're just disrespectful as all get out. And you don't even know how to do the long con right. That's what this is. This is a long con for you to get over to UK to do whatever it is you want to do. That you think that, oh, I know what it is. I think if my inkling is correct, not just mine, but other people on Twitter about your actual orientation, you probably would feel like you live a freer life being, you know, uh, I don't want to say being as if it's an absolute, because I could be totally, totally wrong. I'm just saying it pings my gaydar with him. Something pings my gaydar with him. And I want him to be able to live out and proud. I want everybody to be able to live out and proud. But I feel like that might be his true intention of moving countries. Although, dude, you could get a work visa. But who would hire you when you spend 90% of your time looking in the mirror? I don't know. I don't know what you do for a living. Let me maybe that's part of your job. I don't know what you do for a living. I just say things. Emma says bird is just a slang term for woman. It's slightly derogatory, but Lady Shasha is exactly right. It's like chick. Tony said it wasn't his mom. It was his daughter calling on a sneak tip. Does he have a daughter? I didn't hear anything about him having children, but it's a possibility. But I believe he is only 20 something, isn't he? Or 30 something. It's hard to tell because he has this gray in the beard. I mean, it's hard for me to tell with millennials. I'm Gen X, just for anybody who doesn't know. But it's hard for me to tell millennials' age sometimes because I feel like maybe it's the stress, but I feel like millennials are aging faster because a lot of millennial men have gray in their beard already and they haven't even reached 35. So sometimes it's hard for me to look and say, okay, is that person as young as what they say they are, and some of them are completely bald and they're like 28. It's got to be the stress. It's got to be the stress. Oh, Fulmiculati says her daughter. Oh, corrected me because Tony Man said the daughter, and I immediately thought his daughter. And then Fulmiculati says her daughter. Yes, the way she wrapped her, I still haven't forgotten about how she wrapped her legs around this man. It was inappropriate. Okay, let me move on. Oh, we got to move on to Sean and Christine. Let me put them up. Yes, this was very, very lovely. A lot happened before this moment, so I'll talk about that first. The first thing that happened is Christine returns from visiting her friend, and Sean was, really, really upset because he wasn't sure whether Christine was going to go back to the Philippines or whether she was going to stay with him. But she said that visiting her friend helped her put things into perspective, and that she does realize how difficult it is for him, but that he needs to be honest with her. And of course, he, being the gentleman that Sean has turned out to be, immediately apologizes for not communicating better with her. And I thought, why is this relationship the most functional on the show? Like they have the most functional relationship. However, that lasts only for a short time because Sean's mother. Actually, let me take this out because I'm not playing video today, so I don't need that on there. Sean's mother comes over and she ends up arguing with Christine and telling her she's only here for a green card. And I think Christine yelled something back at her. She said it was rude, but I'm not quite sure if she said specifically what it was, or if she did, I don't remember what it was. But to his credit, Sean did not act like a mama's boy. He went and he spoke to his mother and told her that she was out of pocket and that she needs to back up off Sean and Christine for a while and give them their space. And I was like, bravo to you for standing up for your wife or your fiance. And I was like, that's rare to see on this show. 9 times out of 10, these men are like, I can't tell anything to my mama. And I'm like, you're 40. But Sean did what he was supposed to do. And it actually set his mother straight. She called for another meeting with Christine and she apologized to her. The only thing that was odd was when his mom said, Christine is my best friend. And I was like, how is she? She's been here for a couple weeks. How is she your best friend? I was like, that part didn't make sense. I was like, okay. I mean, it's something great to aspire towards, but to already say that Christine is your best friend, that makes me feel actually a little bit sad for his mom, because that means she doesn't really have any other friends, maybe. But they squash it, and then later, this is the part that was really really cute, when Sean set up this picnic for Christine. And at first I wasn't sure what he was doing. He took this bottle and he tied a rope around it and he put it in the water of this I guess it's maybe a stream coming off a river. And later on, we find out that it was champagne, and he put it in the river to make sure that it stayed cold. And I thought that's really, really thoughtful, and in a way, kind of cute. A cute thing to do when you pull the rope out of the water and the champagne bottle comes up. I think that must have been really cute. And of course, he proposes, and she says yes. And there's a drone shot. This is the beginning of the drone shot. You could tell because the camera kind of goes up, and I know they did not set up a whole rig with the is it called a jib that has the arm with the camera on it? I don't think they set that up. I think they did the drone float up into the sky, and it was very very nice. Do you have anything else? Oh yeah, when I wanted to mention how when his mother was saying she was only there for Sean's money, and I'm like, what money? Sean barely has any money. That's when I knew his mother was tripping. I just wrote that this is a beautiful moment. And I talked about the best friend thing. I wrote that he's very thoughtful and clearly loves Christine with all his heart. And he's strong as F. He opened the champagne bottle with his thumbs. Did you guys see that? He took the champagne bottle in his hands and he just took his thumbs and popped the cork off like that. And I was just like, how did you? Those are some strong man hands. I could never. Let's get back to the comments. And again, I'm just reading them because the internet has been really, really janky. So usually I put on the screen, but today it's now what just happened? I didn't even hit anything, and the picture disappeared. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, Tonyman, I read that part. Then Tonyman says, "Ping's mine goes into full beep mode," and I was saying it was her daughter, the one who hugged him with her legs. Yes. And Chris says, "I don't get why mother-in-laws act like this. Creeps me out." Yeah, especially when they have a husband. Like, it almost makes psychological sense if they're a single parent and they don't have a husband, because sometimes a single parent can turn their son into their son/husband emotionally. But when you have a whole husband that's there, like they showed Sean's father, and it's like, shouldn't he be your best friend? No, I don't know. And it was like that with Ji-hoon's mother too. Like his father is right there, but she just acts like. Well, also Ji-hoon's an only child, and Sean appears to be an only child. I wonder if it's an only child thing. I don't know. Tony says, I like how Christine is real when she talks. She sounds like me. Kind of negative, but always said with love. Fomikilati says, so she starts arguments with her friends. That's all I got from that. Yeah. And Tony says, I can open those with my thumbs as well. Oh, well, you have strong hands. I don't have strong man hands, so I can't do that. I'm trying to figure out why this kicked my photo out, and I have to redo it. Okay, let's close this and try this again. Because the next couple I want to talk about is Richard and Kathleen. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to work today. What is happening? Okay, it's slowly coming back. Yeah, so after this stream, I'm definitely going to have to do the update in between this stream and the next stream. Okay, there they are. This is going to be really short. Oh my God, the slowness of my computer will be the death of me. Are you for real? You're really not. Come on. There we go. Jeez. Thank you guys for bearing with me again because this is really, really a trying time for me. I know, first world problems like this. I just heard, I just heard Courtney in my head. There's people dying, Kim. When Kim Kardashian lost her diamond earring in the water, and she was crying about her diamond earring, and her oldest sister was like, "There's people dying in the world, Kim." That's. I had to check myself. Like, this is a first world problem. Oh my God, my computer is slow. Whatever will I do? It'll be okay. Okay, let's talk about Kathleen and Richard. Long story short, Kathleen dumped Richard, and Richard went to go visit his friend, and his friend was like, "Well, maybe it's because you were acting like Richard." And I just thought that was the funniest. That was the funniest line of the program because it's true. Did I write anything else? Oh, she said that she fell out of love with him, and who would have predicted that? Who would have seen that coming? But shout out to Kathleen for recognizing that she can do better, 100 times better. I hope Richard recognizes that if this is his real personality, that this is not it. If this is a put on for the cameras because he fancies himself a comedian, this is still not it. Like, that type of comedy went out in the 90s. You gotta do better. Richard, I'm sure if you try hard and you really, really think about it, you could probably um, pivot into a better form of comedy, one that doesn't rely on misogyny. Do I have anything else? No, that's about it on them. Let's see what the chat says. Tony says, just blame it on impeding weather. And Tony says, damn, you beat me to saying that, LOL. And Emma says, Kathleen is the star of the show to ditch Richard. She is a sensible woman. Yes. And I said it, and Chris says, Richard, vomit face emoji. Just like Kathleen saw her way out of that mess. Yeah. And it is no coincidence that the nickname for Richard is Dick. All right. Who's the last that we spoke of? Because at first I thought this was going to be the season finale, but then I recognized that several couples were not featured. We did not see Bridie and who was Bridie with? Host. We did not see Bridie and Host. We did not see Victoria and Sean. And we did not see Caleb and Marvin yet. So I'm guessing we'll have one more episode as the finale. Although this one felt like a finale the way it was wrapping up stories, but it only wrapped up 4 couples' stories. And then the next couple that we have, let me see here if I can get the picture up. Yes. All right. We're cooking with fire now. And that is Sam and Pat. And Sam calls Pat to basically just cancel on her because they were supposed to meet in Greece to go on her yacht that she keeps, which, you know how much money it must cost. There we go again. My picture's about to blank out. Like, it's still displaying there, but I knew it was about to do that. It had just kicked out. Wow. I don't know why it did that. I touched nothing and just kicked out, but I'm going to continue. Pat goes ballroom dancing at the beginning of this segment. And I just aspire to live similarly to her in my older years. I hope that I still have vitality and that I can go ballroom dancing and play castanets and just be very free spirited like Pat. I like that about her. I think that's really cool. And I was saying, do you know how expensive it must be to keep a yacht in a different country? To keep a yacht in the U.S. Costs because you have to pay marina fees and you have to have it insured. But still, I'm sure that would be much less. And then keeping it out of country, and then you'd have to pay someone to maintain it while you're not there. So I think she's independently wealthy. That's my opinion. I think she's independently wealthy because these are not things that middle class people can do. We can keep a motorboat in our driveway and put it on the back of our Ford F-150 and take it out to the lake every now and then, but we cannot afford to keep a yacht in another country like Pat can. So why he would cancel on that, he's hustling backwards. And I'm believing me, I believe that Sam is a hustler. I think he and Hossein are two sides of the same coin, except for Sam is slightly smarter than Hossein because Sam at least got a work visa. That way, that if things don't work out between him and Pat, which most likely they will not, because I don't feel that he's into her at all. This is not like we compared him to Sumit and Jenny, but Sumit actually really likes Jenny. He likes being around Jenny. He actually confronted his family in order to be with Jenny. So I believe that that's real. It's not something that we see every day, but apparently it is real. And with let me close that since it's acting up. With Sam, I don't get that same reverence for Pat at all, especially to cancel on her trip when she's already paid for his ticket to come to Greece and she's paying for the yacht and everything. I feel like that's really, really inconsiderate of him. Or maybe he came to his senses and said, I can't con this lady. I just can't do it. So maybe it's more considerate of him. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Okay, since I closed that, I'm going to see if I can try to get these comments on the screen. Let's try this one. Oh, yeah, that's working. Fomiculactus says, yo, good for Kathleen. Emma says, Sam and Pat are on totally different pages. Sam didn't want to go on holiday. He just wants a flat to stay in while he works in UK. Pat's going to need a bigger flat for his 13 family members. Yeah, I think he is going to try to bring his family over. I just think he should do it. He should do it without Pat's help. I think it's best for him to work, get himself grounded, get his own place, and then if he wants to bring his family over, it, that way where he's helping support him, that's different than to put that all on Pat's shoulders. That's not fair to her. Fomiki says, Sam and Pat are a very odd couple. Yes. And Emma says, I think Pat has a timeshare or something in a yacht. No way she's living in that little flat with an expensive yacht somewhere. Ah, that is a good point. I did not know you could timeshare yachts. I know here in the US, you can definitely timeshare condos on the beach or beach houses. They do timeshares. But it does make sense that you should be able to timeshare a yacht too. That's very interesting. So adding that to my bucket list of actually I take it back. I don't want a timeshare yacht because I really don't like being on open ocean like that. It's kind of creepy to me. I don't like to be that far away from the shore. I need to be able to see the shore. I just feel maybe because when I was younger, I worked at the movie theater when Titanic came out, and it was in the movie theater for 8 months, and I seen that ship sink so many times that I probably have like a mental block against going on huge ships. Not to say that every yacht is huge. I have been on a smaller yacht. I've been on like I think it was only like a 24-foot, but it still was technically a yacht. But I have not been on a cruise line ship because they scare me. I feel like one day I might do it to get over that a short cruise, maybe from Miami to Bahamas or Miami to a short one would be Miami to Puerto Rico would be pretty short, or Miami to Jamaica would be pretty short. Shortest would actually be Miami to Cuba. That would be the shortest. All right, let's see if we can get the tweets up. Wait. Put this comment up if it'll go up. Chris says it's amazing how active she is. The last I saw older lady staying active like her. Mm-hmm. And she continues. Was my grandma and my great grandma were the last. Mm-hmm. Come on, Twitter. It's loading, and here we go. Well, while that's loading, like this, the way they introduced her when she was playing the castanets and then she was outside with a ribbon dancing, I thought that was nice. It really spoke to her personality, and also the thrift shopping. I was just thrift shopping the other day. I got a great find. I found a cashmere Ralph Lauren sweater, and it was $9, I believe. I got it for, but the sweater itself retails for anywhere between $148 and $248, depending on the retailer. But it was a great find. That's weird. There's a comment there, but it's not showing. Okay. Tonyman says, I see. Wait, let's see if that'll go up here. Oh my God, this is so slow. Tonyman says, see, I like Pat and said last week I'd be nicer to her. I'm just jealous because I want to be like her when I get that age as well. Yeah, it just seems like a nice way to retire, going on vacations and doing ballroom dancing. Like that's the way to retire. But Mickey Latte says the yacht doesn't ever have to leave the port, leave it tied up. Yeah, that's my type of yachting. Or like when I was in Connecticut, we never left the marina, which is like it's like a little bay inlet. So you're not really going out into the ocean. We just were right in the marina, kind of going around in circles. And the yacht, the person who owned the yacht was drunk driving the yacht, and he accidentally backed it into the dock. But he was insured, so he wasn't upset about it. But we were all like shocked. Like, I didn't know you could even drunk drive a yacht, but I guess you can. Okay, I'm gonna hustle through these tweets because I don't want the thing to kick me out again. Here we go. Oh, this is something I'm going to be on later today if anybody's interested in horror. As you can see in my background, my other channel is called What Did I Just Watch, and I usually review horror, sci-fi, and thriller movies. But tonight at 6 p.m., I'm going to be on the Trash Picture Show with Jen's Reviews from the Graves, and we're going to be talking about horror anthology shows like Tales from the Crypt, the Horror Creep Show, Twilight Zone, stuff like that. Now let's get into these tweets. Ah. It seems like they might take a while to load. Come on, work with me. Okay, finally. It'd be nice if the image showed. But Bojangles Banana says, the hero of this entire series, hashtag 90 Day Fiance Universe, Queen Kathleen, dropping Richard, seeing the red flags and saying, nope. Shout out to Bojangles Bananas. Serenity says, Pat in total denial about being scammed. Shelby Eliza S. Thank you for capturing this because I missed it. He's just not that into you. Apparently, Hossein was rolling his eyes, and I missed it probably because I was taking notes. Sometimes I have to look down from the show to make a note of something, and that's probably why I missed him rolling his eyes. Serenity says, after all this, I hope these two goobers are happy. Wine Gal 96 says, Hossein rolled his eyes after he hugged Emma. He really loves her. Eye roll emoji. It's an eye roll emoji. And it has a picture here in case someone's listening at work and they can't watch. The first picture is of Emma hugging Hussein. Sorry about that. The stream just literally kicked me out. Don't know what happened. That is so weird. Okay, let me read a couple more tweets and get out of here since this is not is not cooperating with me today at all. I'm worried about the other 2 streams I need to do. What if this happens all day? Let me read a couple of these messages here. Where'd I leave off? Fominky Latte says, Pat can find a companion closer to her age who likes to travel. That would be smart. Tournament says, be like Sonny Crockett and live on a yacht in Miami. And Chris says, yeah, Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice. Chris says, taking a vacation on a houseboat would be neat. And then just responses to the stream, cutting out for no reason. Okay, Brighton cleaning lady says, just awful to watch. She's clearly being used. And you can see the picture again of their lack of chemistry. T says, body language has never spoken so loudly. This one doesn't have to do with 90 Day UK, but it was a nice picture. It says, love is the glue that holds a family together. And it's Jovi and Yara with their baby. And Jovi with a drink in his hand, like always. Spooky Robin. What? Why am I getting... Is this... It better not be a weather notification. No. Okay. Spooky Robin Valentine says, that boy is gay. I really believe that. TikTok sound. I'm not familiar with that TikTok sound, but I can picture it in my head. Big Rob says, I don't understand why she signed that book 3 times after he answered that phone. Straight after the I do's. 3 shrug emojis in the same picture. Serenity, big mistake, huge. I'm wondering if they're quoting Pretty Woman. Tony says, StreamYard is still mad at Lady Shasha. Hopefully she'll be back. Can you guys hear me now? Because I've been talking for a couple minutes and I thought I was back on. Okay, we're back on. All right. I got scared for a minute there because I'm like, I see everything looking normal. Okay. Let's get through a couple more of these and then we'll be out of here by about 1:15 or 5:15 if you're in the UK. 6:15, I should say. 6:15, my bad. Sandra 0908 says, there's no future with these 2. Dixie Darlin says, if Richard was American, he would be a proud boy with his wife washing, ironing, effing, etc. Definition. Yes, I agree. And for those who don't know, the Proud Boys are a group in the U.S. that are not only misogynistic, they're racist, even against themselves, because there's some Proud Boys that aren't actually white, but they still hold white supremacist views. It's weird. Big Ed's Neck says, you can't keep King Richard down for long. Probably not Little Ricky either. Laughing face emoji. Serenity says, Pat, this is what he really wants. And it has a picture of Sam saying, first of all, I will bring my mom and dad. And then a second picture of Sam saying, I have 13 person in my family. And then the last picture, I don't want to enlarge it because I'm having so many computer problems. That's all my ambition is the third panel, I believe. Aaron M.A., shout out to you for taking this screen capture. Never in my life have I ever seen a man blow out his beard. I was shocked too. He has a little comb and he's blow drying, straightening his beard. This man is really against curly hair on his head and his beard. another non-related, but I still retweeted it. 90 Day Fiance leaks and reality gossips has a picture of Emily and Kobe. It says couples that laugh together last together, and I just thought they looked very nice in this picture. That's probably the best Emily has looked in a while. Eed or Ide, maybe it's Eed. I think it's Eed. Says this look says it all, and you can see again everyone is capturing Hossein rolling his eyes. Benjamin Samuel Cumberledge says, I think I've reached peak Florida. I'm chilling at a rooftop tiki bar, drinking a daiquiri, listening to EDM, and occasionally checking the hurricane updates. And that's the end of our Twitter segment. So I made it through. Yes. All right, I'm going to close this, and then we will say our last comments, and I'm going to try to update my computer and hopefully get ready for the next show at 2 o'clock, which is going to be 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life, both episode 2 and 3. Because what I didn't know last week was that the episodes drop on Mondays. So I thought that I was caught up because I watched the episode that was on Discovery Plus on Sunday. But since they drop on Mondays, I was not caught up. So we're going to do 2 episodes in one today, which shouldn't be too bad because the show's kind of drawn out anyways. Fominky Latte says, I'm surprised he didn't relax his beard. Yeah, that's the thing that kept on tripping me out about, oh God, what's his name? Was it Eve? Mohammed. Mohammed's hair was relaxed because his roots started growing out and it was really, really irritating me. But yeah, when he gets to the UK, he probably will discover that he can chemically straighten his beard. You know, they have you know how you have like bonnets for your hair or you have wave caps for your hair? They have a bonnet for the beard now too. But with that, let me get out of here so I can go ahead and do my computer update. Hopefully that fixes the issues, but I still think maybe it's the storm. Do you think the storm is messing with the internet? It could be. Even though it hasn't totally reached us yet, there could be. But the thing is, would it just maybe interfere with the signal reaching the satellites? That's the only thing I could think of. Or is it overload because everyone's online keeping an eye on the weather? I don't know. But let me get out of here. I will be back at 2 o'clock and we'll cross our fingers that it goes a little bit better technology wise. But thank you again so much for coming through. I should say 2 o'clock / 7 o'clock. Well, 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock UK time. So with that, thank you guys again for bearing with me with all these technical issues, and I will hopefully see you again at 2 o'clock without all these issues. Talk to you in a little bit.